Matthew Stoller with us. Matthew, he is a longtime, very fervent Democratic operative and analyst. I subscribe to his newsletter, which you want to subscribe to. It's like I get a lot of this stuff, but like it's the first thing I read when it comes up. It's called Big by Matt Stoller. I love the title of it. Big by Matt Stoller. You need to subscribe to that. Matt, thanks for being with us.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Okay, so I gave you I've been talking about this debate, Matt, for this is going to be going on 4 hours. I love this debate. If you're a political junkie, Matt, that was the debate of all time. And I think NBC did a great job. They were great questions. They let everybody mix it up. Now, having said that, I set the table. Your analysis.
Oh, it was so fun. I had such a good time. Like the first time that they just were like raw hating on each other. It was awesome. Right? I mean, they've been waiting for that. They've been like, oh, we all have to get along. Like we all get a participation trophy. And like finally this debate, they're like, I hate you. No, I hate you more. And that's like what you want, right? Sorry, that's not like a political analysis. That's just me personally being
I
filled
agree
with
with you. I had so much fun in this debate. I said to myself, because I get up early, so I can't drink or anything. I have to go to bed. But I poured myself, by the end of the night, I had 3 fingers of Tito's vodka. I had popcorn. I had a snack. I mean, it was like a party. It was like, you're right. It was like, I hate you. No, I hate you more. It was the best debate
I heard
ever.
from people before the debate. They were like, this debate feels different. Everybody hates each other. There's like a serious sense of hostility. And I just I love it because, I've been doing this thing where, Pete and Amy, Klobuchar is known as on the Hill as just a monstrous boss. She's just the worst.
Right.
She tortures her subordinates and stuff. And so I've been doing this thing where, she just clearly hates Pete. It's just personal. And so I've just been doing this thing where I feel like Pete should be allowed to be president, but only if he's Amy Klobuchar's intern for 2 years and she gets to torture him. That's kind of the way I feel about it. No, I mean, it was great. I mean, look, I study monopolies, right? I don't do political races anymore. I used to do political races. I mean, but I think it's the most important, there's a couple of, I think the debate was fun and interesting, but there's a couple of things to note. And one of them is that obviously it's Mike Bloomberg, this is basically a race between Bernie and Bloomberg at this point. And right. So this was kind of the introduction of the kind of political establishment and kind of Democrats who are paying attention to how Bloomberg would do, right? And he didn't do well. So that's meaningful. Now he's still going to toss $1 billion or whatever it is at the race. And it's funny because he's bribing all these Democrats who are I really think that stop and frisk is not a big deal. I need a new boat. And if he wins the general election, right? Or if he wins the primary, there's going to be a lot of Republicans who are going to be well, we need to move on from Trump, and I want a new boat. So you're going to
want a new boat.
Yeah, I know. I love. Actually, that's more like a boomer thing. The millennials will be I know, I need a new Tesla. But it's a generational split among corrupt operatives. So that, and it was nice. I like Elizabeth Warren a lot. It was nice to see her actually ditch the golden retriever shtick and just get just start murdering people again, which is but the other thing to note, and this is actually a really serious. Can you stop laughing?
Oh, you're making me laugh, man. I'm sorry. Ditch the golden retriever and just kill everybody.
Yeah.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry, Matt. I'm sorry to laugh.
No, of course that was a joke. It's she just the reason people loved her is because she would periodically murder the bankers who stole a bunch of money from us, and they were I like that. And then she runs on I have a golden retriever, which is very annoying to someone like me because it's not what I like about. I like golden retrievers. That's not a big deal. We can all get a golden retriever if we want. Anyway, doesn't matter. The other thing, and I think this is actually a structural flaw in the debate format, or at least there's something wrong with the Democratic Party, in that they didn't talk about what I think is a really important problem, which is this pandemic in China and the shutdown of China, right? Which is it's going to affect 80% of the chemical inputs that go into our drugs, like our a whole bunch of different, everything from chemotherapy to antibiotics, a lot of that stuff comes from China. And like, if China doesn't get back online soon, right? Forget about the pandemic coming over here, which it could. We're not going to have medicine for our hospitals. Like, a whole bunch of inputs into industrial parts is going to just shut down. So like, that's a real crisis. And like, one of the things that you notice about the Democratic debate is that there are about 5 to 10 topics that moderators, or slogans that moderators ask about, and that's it. And so it's like, it's a very constrained debate format. It's very constrained, and that reflects the kind of general constrained nature of how Democrats talk about the world. They only see between 5 to 10 problems. So it's like, we need to talk about whether we're going to have Medicare for all or how we're going to finance medicine that may not actually be on the shelves. Like, it doesn't actually matter how you finance medicine that doesn't exist, right? So that's, I think, the other real problem. It's not something you would see. It's not something you'll hear on MSNBC or CNN or Fox News or whatever, although you might hear it from Tucker. But like, there's a series of crises that are circling our society, and we're not really talking about them. And I think that the coronavirus pandemic and the relationship with China is like the most urgent one right now.
I agree with that. And by the way, the Steve Bannon Show on the John Fredericks Radio Network, he covers War Room Pandemic 11 a.m. to noon, Monday to Friday. He'll be doing that today. 10 to 11 a.m. is War Room 2020, talking about the election. But you're right. This is a major crisis. It in a way, it plays into the president's hands, because he's been saying he wants to get our supply chain back from China, so we start producing our stuff here, because he said, there could be a crisis, and they have they're producing it all, so it plays into his hands. But look, it's a crisis. It's going to hurt their economy, and we can't get the things that we need. That never got talked about. So give us your raw analysis last night, Matt, winners, losers, and what difference it's going to make, if any.
Well, okay. So based on nothing but my own opinion, so I basically just look at, my way of doing analysis is I look at polls, and whoever's in the lead, I'm like, that person is winning. That's basically what it, because as an operative, you just have no idea, right? You just shouldn't let your own kind of biases influence things. I just think you should say what you believe in, and then hope that people agree, and try to make the most persuasive case you can. So that's just my sophisticated analysis. I mean, but okay, that said, I think Bloomberg is going to have problems because it's like the way so I think Bloomberg did the worst. And I think Bernie was good. I think he was fine. He didn't get damaged, and that's kind of all he needed. He was in the lead. So that's the main dynamic takeaway out of the race. And then you had a bunch of the others. Like, I think Elizabeth Warren did really well. She like re-energized her campaign. She got in a bunch of money. I don't know if it will matter. I think Pete and Amy, I just love that. I want like a sitcom. Like, I want a sitcom with Pete and Amy where they just try to torture each other. I think like they didn't really do, like they basically, like the blacks and Latinos are really important in the Democratic primary. Neither of them has much appeal to those groups for various reasons that are completely legitimate. They haven't been particularly good to those groups. So I don't think they made any headway there. Again, that's just completely my own view. How do I know? But that's just my sense. And then, so that's kind of and then Joe Biden is kind of fading. So, like, I don't think that the only thing that really changed in this race is that Mike Bloomberg is going to have to, up his bribes, because it's like, now it's like embarrassing. It's like, you got to understand this, the establishment, the Democratic establishment. I suspect this is true on the right, but like on the Democratic side, it's like people will take money to, not everybody, but like a lot of people will just take money to do, and to give away their integrity. They'll be like, I believe that Mike Bloomberg is going to fight for African Americans, and he apologized for stop and frisk. And that's like, what they're saying is, again, I need a new boat. But like, the more that he embarrasses, the more embarrassing it is, right, the higher the cost, right? Because you have to pay more. Like, because then now there's going to be people that know that if they just take the Bloomberg money, that it makes them look really bad. It hurts their reputation. So that's like, there's going to be a lot of people on TV and kind of elsewhere who are going to be like, well, I don't know about Bloomberg anymore. Maybe $1 billion overcomes that. I suspect it probably will, but like, that's the only thing that I think really changed.
So it upped the price of being for Bloomberg, right? The
That's
rates went up.
It reduced his pricing power. Sorry,
Elasticity of political pay to play pricing.
Exactly.
Elasticity. Yesterday, Bloomberg performance was so bad that now it's going to up the rate to get. Instead of paying $150 for a post on your Facebook page, you're going to have to pay $295. Right? The price just doubled.
Yeah, that's right. Exactly. It's like,
oh
I'm not
God, Matt, you got this. You have got this whole thing figured out. I know you don't do political analysis anymore, but that's why I force you to do it on our show because you're so good at it. Okay,
no, I love to do it. It's just that like there are people on MSNBC and CNN. Like the only people who invite me on are like you and Fox News and CNBC and Bloomberg. Like people that deal with like money and power. Like the Democrats don't want to hear from me. Like they hate me. It's like hilarious. I'm like,
I know you got the best of that. Okay, so look at what's up with Biden. I mean, what was that embarrassing last night? I mean, did you feel sorry for him?
No, he's a profoundly bad human being. I don't feel sorry for him. Like Joe Biden's a bad guy. Like he's greedy and lazy and kind of stupid, and he's hurt a lot of people in his career. He's like kind of a monster. And so no, I didn't feel bad for him. Like he shouldn't be on stage. He has no but I think the thing for Biden is like Biden has a lot of draw on certain parts of the Democratic apparatus and a lot of goodwill because Democrats are really, nostalgic for Obama. But what's so interesting about this, and so like he just kind of he pulls from that reservoir of immense goodwill. But what's really interesting about this dynamic in this primary is that like there are a bunch of people trying for that Obama lane, right? Like Biden is trying for it, and Pete is trying for it, and it doesn't work. Like because Democrats love Obama, they think very highly of him as a person. They're nostalgic for that. They think he was really classy, but they don't actually like anything he did. So there isn't necessarily an Obama lane anymore because he just was kind of a bad president, and they don't want to admit it, but like that's the subtext of what's going on. I mean, first of all, so there was this moment when Bloomberg, they were talking about stop and frisk, and Joe Biden was like, we stopped that because like we sent monitors, and that's just like not true at all. Like that's just not true. Like there were protests, and then a judge said this stop and frisk is unconstitutional, and Bloomberg appealed, and it had nothing to do with the Obama administration. And then here you have Biden just being like, it's because we sent monitors. And it's just like all of these random lies. Like one time, I don't know, a couple months ago, he was like, Bernie doesn't take corporate money because I told him not to. And it's like, it was so stupid because, like, first of all, like, that's not going to get you anything politically. But also, who's going to believe that Bernie decided not to take corporate money because Joe Biden told him not to? Like, that's just stupid. Like, it's weird. It's a lie. It's just like, it's like a habit for him. I mean, you probably not like this. Trump does this. Trump just is like lies all the time about stupid things. And like Joe Biden does that too. And it's really weird to me that Democrats hate Trump so much, but then when they get their own guy who just like randomly lies in the same way that Trump does, they're like, oh, but he's our guy. And it's just like, it's so irritating, but it's not working because he doesn't actually bring much to the table anymore.
Well, the difference is our guy has a sense of humor and Biden doesn't. But 3 times he called it moderators. Like he said, we sent moderators. And I was honestly, I didn't figure out until the 5th time he said it that he meant monitors. Like he garbled the word. And I'm thinking to myself, moderators, like what did Holder send? I'm thinking, what the hell's a moderator doing in New York? Like moderating what? Like a moderator of a forum? Then I'm thinking, okay, so maybe they had forums and they sent people to moderate the forum. I had no idea what the hell he was talking about. Then I finally figured out that he meant monitors. And then I'm like, monitoring what? Like they went and monitored, they went to 11th Avenue and over 10th Street and monitored. What the hell was he talking about? Like I had no idea what he was saying.
It could have been true. I mean, it's such an Obama solution, right? Like, we're not going to, like, I looked at this bill on drug supply chains and why there were shortages that they passed in 2012. And it was like, the bill was just like, we have these really critical drug shortages. And so what we're going to do is we're going to monitor the situation. It's like they never wanted to do. This was my problem with the Obama administration. They never wanted to do anything. They just wanted to set up reporting requirements on the problem. And I could imagine them like sending monitors. It didn't matter. Although it would have been funny if they'd sent moderators. Like if they were like, we dispatched Chuck Todd to New York City for whatever reason to deal with it. But it's like it's so. It's just like also Biden has a really awful track record in dealing with kind of like racial issues. Everything going back to like to busing, to like drug war, to there's a lot of people in jail, particularly a lot of African Americans in jail because of the policy choices that Biden made. Which is, by the way, like those policy choices were often supported by black leaders too. So it's not as simple as maybe some people on the left would want to say. But it's like it's not like Biden's. Biden doesn't, I think, have that like necessarily the credibility to make those kinds of arguments to Bloomberg on stop and frisk. Although, what do I know? This is just my opinion, and like it's not like it's I've never been stopped. Actually, it's not true. I have by Capitol Hill police for random reasons, but like it's not a big part of my life. But like it's a really scary thing, right? I mean, you're just walking around. I mean, I have, like I've had machine guns pointed at me because I was walking in the wrong area. Like, it's a terrible, scary thing to have that happen to you. And if it's just because of like your skin color and cops just, throw you up against a wall and like frisk you, that's terrifying. That is like horrible and abusive. And so it's like, it's something that, it's really good that it's really bad for Bloomberg. It's good that he's paying a cost for that. It says good things about our society and the Democratic Party.
Right.
He is
no, you're right. You're right. All right. Great analysis, Matthew. I really enjoy having you on. I'm sorry.
You're listening.
You made me laugh for 30 minutes straight. The Tesla thing with the boat is a classic. You got to keep saying that. Matt Stoller, thanks for being with us. We're out of time. Best analysis ever by Matt Stoller. Forget those talking heads on TV. This is the guy. He's the absolute best, and you got to subscribe to his newsletter. Matt, if people want to subscribe to your newsletter, and I love the name of it, Big.
Yeah, so go to mattstoller.com. That's mattstoller.com, and it's about the politics of monopoly power.
It's really good. I wait comes out once a week. It's called Big, which just the name of it itself I love. And then he's a great writer. He's got a nice breezy style. And during the column, you'll laugh because he's got all the facts in there, but he says it in a way that's really funny. And he's the best. Matt, thanks for being with us. I enjoy having you on your show. See you next time.